Namaskara Machas. We're going to start the streetball skills session. We're going to be demonstrating it right here. If you have a basketball with you, that's great, you can follow along. We are going to first start with the 6 different types of situations in game. These are basically your setup moves. Then you have your attack moves, which actually get you past the defender. You have moves that are meant for creating separation, your step backs, snatch backs, all that. Then you have moves for when the defense is playing really tight to you. You have moves which are meant to bait a defender, fake them hard, and get those crazy highlights. And finally, you have moves which are just to get your rhythm correct. Let's start with setup moves. These moves are when you come up to a defender, they're set, they're in a good defensive stance, and you want to make a read on them. Get them to do something so that you can make your move. You get what I'm saying? Or you want them to turn their body a certain way or move to a certain position. Basically, to just shift your defender or to get a read on your defender. These are setup moves. You have quite a few different things which many different players do. Usually you need like one go-to setup move. That's like enough because this is just for getting a read, right? One way to do it is this hand dribble. Where you bounce the ball, let it float in your hand a bit. Don't do that, that's a carry, but you get the point, right? Now you can read the defender while you're doing this. This is something Kevin Durant likes to use a lot of other NBA players as well. This works best if you have really long hands, so you can float the ball, keep it away from the defender while you're looking at trying to read. The next setup is for the opposite type of player. It works best if you're like shorter and quicker, lower to the ground. It's basically this, or some variation of this. This one, James Harden likes to use a lot, even though he isn't exactly short, but he uses this really well. So when you do this, there are lots of different timing speeds you can play around with. And since it's so quick, right, whenever you get the space, you can attack quickly. So these are like two really common ones I've seen. Apart from that, you have the side shuffle. So you go slightly to the side like this. It's kind of like the initial float dribble, but you just go to the side. This will immediately make a defender move. They either have to come here to cut you off or stay there. So no matter what they do, it's easy to just go from there. There's this one move which I think can fall in two categories, both setup and attack, which is this. The SIKE cross or the jab cross, whatever they call it. Because when you do this, the defender has to do one of two things. Either they follow your body and go this way, or they follow the ball and go that way. So it's great for getting a read on the defense, understanding what they like to look at. This also gives you many options to attack. So you can go here, or you can cross back here and go. Or you can even go into a shot, whatever, right? So I think that's why this move would fall into both categories. Then finally, another very, very simple move, but this isn't even a dribble move. You can do it off the dribble also, but it's a jab step. Just doing this can really get a defender shifting. They can turn, they might jump back, they can do a lot of things. Or you can also understand how much they like to react. If they're really bent on cutting off this side, then they probably wouldn't react all that much. Or do they change the direction they're facing? Like if they're playing you like this, they go like that. So it's a really useful move and super simple. And yeah, you can also do this off the dribble, just come like this, or come like this, like this, like that. You have all these options. Just like take one foot and go towards them. Alright, Machas. Now we know how to set up a defender. We know how to read them, how to shift them slightly. Now let's get into actually beating the defender. This is where your attack moves come in. When most people talk about moves, this is the kind of move they're talking about. The moves that actually get you past your defender. But it's important to understand that you shouldn't use these moves also all the time. No. You should use the attack move only when you see some space. Like whether you see a driving lane right next to the defense or you think you can get to a spot and hit a jump shot. Or like there's space behind the defender and you want to get there. That is when you use an attack move. So what are attack moves? So here you have all your crossovers. You have this one, I was in cross. You can also do the crossover between the legs or you're behind the back. Then there's also inside outs. So these are all like, basically all these are options or any combination of these. Or of course the very simple thing, if you see space and you're already ready out here, you can just drop and go. This is the simplest one. And in fact, a lot of times it's very effective right off of a setup move. Like let's say you're going here, and the defender just gives you space, you can drop. Or you're floating the dribble, and then you see space, just attack. And of course, one slightly more unconventional one is a nutmeg, where you take the ball and you put it through your defender's legs. So now, what do you think a defender will do when you do an attack move? Exactly, right? They're going to jump back. They're going to try to cut off the attack angle. And this is where your next type of move comes in, which is your counter moves, or like you can call them separation moves. So you do this when a defender jumps back, or they don't even need to jump back, they just shift their weight back. They're on their heels, as they call it. This is where a lot of ankle breakers happen, when they shift their weight back and then you counter, and then they're trying to come front again and then they fall. Your options here are not way too many. You can just directly jump back like this on a step back, or you can pull the ball back like this, what you call a snatch back, or you can pull the ball across like this, the stiff leg crossover. Or if you want to create separation sideways, you can jump like this. From there you can do both. You can either shoot or you can drive to the basket. So here, you're here, you can either shoot upwards or you come here, side step and you can drive. Now once you have all of these skills down, you hit the defender with a few of these time and again. One thing a lot of defenders might try to do is they'll play hardcore pressure defense on you. The kind which is really physical. They're keeping a hand up on you like that and they're playing really, really tight, right? So this, Machas, is the fourth situation you need to be prepared for. Just remember, for the most part, you need to protect the ball. You either want it defender, you basketball, so that your body is protecting it, or you want to keep the ball somewhere where they can't reach it. There are specific moves here which might not work well as a normal attack or whatever else, but it works extremely well when defenders are playing you this tight. I'm talking about, say, the spin move. So if a defender is really playing me out here, right, it's a good time to spin around, push them back like this and drive. But you shouldn't use this when the defender is back here. Like if you try spinning, you go right into them. Like the push cross. So again, let's say the defender is sticking here. He's playing real tight, right? He's pressuring you. So it'll be great if you can just get the ball past him without risking him getting it. So you push it over and go. Or if you can't really get the ball over like that, another nice option would be go low. You want to make sure the ball isn't like, in this kind of area for the defender. It's easy for them to steal. You want to either keep it high, like over their shoulders, over their arms, or you want to keep it really low, like this. So they'll have a tough time getting to it either way. If you want even more protection, especially on these low crossovers, right? People might still steal it. It's amazing to go between the legs, like an ultra low between the legs, like that. Or even a behind the back, although this is slightly tougher to do that low. But you don't even need to do it that low. Slightly higher is okay, since it's behind you. Again, like this spin move, they'll find it tough to get the ball here. And if you're not confident with any of these moves, the best thing to create some space from a tight defender is just a slow retreat dribble like this. Pull it back a bit, then you get space to go into all your attack moves. Because keep in mind, if a defender is playing really tight pressure defense on you, they're usually leaving a lot of space around. So just take a retreat dribble, attack hard.
Dream wake up critical condition Hey earthum quake up hill shake up
Now with these, you must be able to tackle like I think 95% of situations in the game. But we have a few more. The next one is SIKE moves. You fake the defender out hard and you get a nice highlight play. These work best when a defender is out of position already. Like they're already trying to recover from a move and get you. You created separation. It's a great time to do a hezzy and then drive fast. Or let's say you're at the 3-point line, they're coming hard to close the gap. It's a good time to do a pump fake and drive fast. Or they're just very jumpy, hyper, and they're trying to reach for the ball all the time. Like let's say it's game point or something, or they're running out of time in an organized game. They are going to be more jumpy, they are going to try reaching more. So it's for these situations that these SIKE moves work the best. Of course, they don't need to be like complete street ball or really complicated stuff. You have some really simple SIKE moves which can send a defender flying, like a pump fake. You'll be surprised how many people you will get with this, especially if they're closing out to you on the 3-point line or something, or a proper pass fake. Or you can fake calling for a screen, let's say you say, come ultimate, and then they're looking that side, you can just go. These are the basic SIKE moves. Let's talk about some more dribble kind of SIKE moves. I think you all know the sham guard where you throw the ball out and then snatch it back immediately. This is one example of a SIKE move. Or you have the baseline behind the back, which is similar hand movement but very different footwork, and yeah, similar concept as well to the sham guard. So yeah, the defender here, a baseline behind the back is basically this. Then you have one of my favorite streetball moves, called the SIKE I swished it. This one is more of a back to the defender kind of move. So your defense is here, you come, you put the ball between your legs, fake up, and then take it and shoot. Oops. Then you have one more, the yo-yo dribble, which is basically a pass fake. Sometimes just pretend you lost the ball, or actually lose the ball. Losing the ball is in fact a great way to get defenders reaching and striking them hard, and do this on purpose, or like just recover whenever you lose the ball. That's a great way to get highlights. Then you have one more which is borderline illegal, but like if you can do it right, it's an amazing, crazy move. This is the boomerang. And one hot sauce was famous for this. It's like that. Actually, I'm quite scared to do it properly here. There's a fan above. But you get the point, right? You can, like that. See, in this, you have like so many. You want inspiration for this? Watch the And One mixtape tour. They were the start of this whole streetball video kind of a thing. They have so many examples of this. There's this move also, and stuff like this, that. So now, Machas, we're almost at the end. The one thing which I can't miss out on is a rhythm move. So basically, rhythm moves are extremely simple. The move itself is not much. It's either just a normal dribble, or it's like crossovers, or this one, pocket dribbles. But the main reason for this is if your feet are positioned awkwardly or something, you want to get them to a better position where you can work with. This is especially useful if you want to accelerate and quickly beat a defender like that. As in, you shift your feet back so that you can just, directly kind of fall forward, like this. Or you want to suddenly stop. So you come here, let's say you're doing a step back. So you do this jump stop. You take a hard dribble and you jump stop like that. Or you, let's say, move it like this. You want to quickly shoot. So you take one hard dribble, set your feet while you're in the air. And most important of them all, while going for layups. A lot of times people's feet are awkwardly positioned here. Then they by mistake take 1, 2, 3 and do a travel. Thing is, you want to avoid travels. The best way to do it is 1, 2, right? It's also great if you want to handle contact while doing all this and avoiding travels, So there we have it, Machas. The 6 game situations and the different moves you're going to use in each of these. Go out to the court, try some of these nice moves, have some fun, and psych some defenders, Machas.